What is happening, you wonderful people? So with Sin Help releasing last week, there is now a new film under Sam Raimi's directing belt. So that means it's time to rank all of the Sam Raimi films that I've seen from worst to best. So let's talk about it.
What's your favorite scary movie?
And before I kick off number 10, my least favorite movie from Sam Raimi in his filmography as a whole, there are a few movies that I did not include on this list because I have not watched them. But these movies that I'm about to talk about, I was going to watch, but I felt like I was kind of running out of time, so I did not get a chance to watch them. But I am going to watch them eventually down the line in the future because I know Sam Raimi will probably make another film, obviously, and I'll definitely do another ranking at that time, the next few years down the line. And those films include Darkman, A Simple Plan, The Quick and the Dead, and For Love of the Game. I have not seen those ones. But coming in at number 10 is Oz the Great and Powerful. And when it comes to Oz the Great and Powerful, I think this is technically, I watched it fully starting one night a couple weeks, like last week or something like that, and then I officially finished it like the last 30 minutes a couple of days ago or something like that. And I think when it comes to this movie, this was my second time watching it. I think it was my second time watching it because I remember, I think I went to go see it in the theaters with my family when I was younger because I think it was like a 2013, came out in 2013. So when I was little, I think I went to go see it in the theaters, I think. But this movie is just not very good. It's not very good in my opinion. You know, I think the movie is very vibrant and colorful, and I really like the colors that Sam Raimi put into this film. I think it's, for the most part, minus some CGI and terrible, absolutely awful green screen, which we'll talk more about that in a little bit. I'll mention that again. But the green screen and CGI are both terrible in this film. But, you know, I think it is colorful, and I like the color palette in here. I think it does have a good color palette for the most part, you know. And James Franco, for the most part, is good. He really is good, and I'll talk about this in a little bit too. It kind of felt like at times, he was kind of shoehorning it in, and at the same time, at times, it felt like he kind of didn't want to be there, you know. But I thought his performance was good enough. I thought he gave a really good performance, and, you know, it is one of the most unique films that Sam Raimi has done, in my opinion. It's definitely out of the realm of what he usually does. Like, he's mainly known for as the horror director. He did the Spider-Man trilogy as well. That's what he's mainly known for as well. But this is very unique, and this is something he's never done before, you know. And, you know, he does put his own spin on and take on the Wizard of Oz world and franchise, and that's a bold task. It is, you know, because the original Wizard of Oz from 1939 is one of the most popular movies ever made, and it was one of the first movies ever made, you know. And I think, you know, I really like the cool aspect ratio in here. At the beginning, it's very like square, black and white, but then when it gets to Oz, it expands, and then you get the color palette, you get the vibrant colors, right, which I really liked. I thought that was cool. And, you know, there's some cool surprise actors in here that show up, and I think Michelle Williams is really good in here as well. But the chemistry is just non-existent at all from everybody in here, whether it's Michelle Williams, James Franco, whether it's Mila Kunis and James Franco. The chemistry is non-existent. The acting chemistry is out the freaking window, and the CGI, green screen, both are so noticeable, and it is so bad. It's honestly laughably bad. It is. And, you know, the pacing isn't tight. It's very sluggish, in my opinion, and you don't care about the story. You don't care about it at all. You don't care about the characters or the journey. You really don't. You don't feel invested into this story. You don't feel invested in the characters and their relationships and stuff. And, you know, everybody looks lost, and they don't look like they want to be there. You know, James Franco at times, but James Franco just, you know, he gives a good performance, but at the same time, it just doesn't look like he wants to be there. And, you know, it feels very lifeless and soulless, and it doesn't feel like a Sam Raimi film. It feels like a movie that has his name tacked on. And coming in at number 9 is Army of Darkness. Now, I know a lot of people love Army of Darkness because it has that 90s campy, cheesy vibe, right? And it's a Sam Raimi film and it's part of the Evil Dead franchise, right? I hate this movie. I absolutely hate this movie. I think I've talked about it on here a few times. I think this movie's abysmal. I think it's absolutely abysmal, and I know it's a hot take because majority of people do like it, you know? And like I said, I know it has that cheese to it. Like I said, I know it's like a campy 90s film, but I just didn't like it. Like, I understand Sam Raimi is a very nuanced director. He's a very unique director, and maybe there's a few things I could, like, pick out from this movie that are okay or good. I think Bruce Campbell is great as Ash. He's so fun and chaotic, whether he's in this one or Evil Dead 2 or the original Evil Dead. He's so fun and you like his character, and even, especially in Evil Dead 2, you get invested more and more in his character, right? But it's just over the top and so cheesy, and I just couldn't get connected to the story. I didn't like the vibe of it. You know, Awesome, Great, and Powerful gives this movie a run for its money. It does. Like, I originally had Army of Darkness as my least favorite Sam Raimi film, but then I thought about it. I looked at my letterbox and I was like, no, Awesome, Great, and Powerful, that's his worst film. And this one is just so bad. It's just so laughably bad. And coming in at number 8 is Drag Me to Hell. Drag Me to Hell is an interesting movie because I feel like it's also one of the most, I guess in a way, like, unique films that Sam Raimi's done, you know what I mean? Like, he takes very big, bold swings in here, he does, and I heard of this movie, but I never knew what it was, and when I watched it, I was like, oh, I didn't expect it to be like that. I knew it was a horror movie, but it does take bold swings, and there's some good things about it, you know? There are some good things, but, like, it's very Sam Raimi. You could tell. It's definitely Sam Raimi. It really is, and it's very reminiscent of Evil Dead. It definitely has those Evil Dead, like, references and Evil Dead vibes, you know what I mean? Maybe more vibes than references, maybe not very many references, but it's creepy, it's wacky, it's strange, you know? And I think the very end is very bold. It's very bold. It's one of the most bold things Sam Raimi's ever done in his filmography, you know? But it's just, you don't care at all about what's going on. You don't care about the characters. And with our lead actress in here, she's okay for the most part. She's okay, but I feel like she just doesn't really have the charisma or the acting chops to really lead a film, right? And Justin Long is great in here. I think he's really good. Doesn't have much time to shine, but I mean, he has a significant role. He's kind of there just for moral support, you know, just to be kind of like a side character. And you really, you know, the story is not as strong as it should be. It's not as strong as it thinks it is, you know, and the pacing isn't very tight. I didn't find myself interested in anything going on. And coming in at number 7 is the original Evil Dead, The Evil Dead from 1981. And, you know, I thought this one was okay. I thought this one was fine, and the majority of people love this franchise and really love this one. I thought it was okay. Not horrible by any means, but the thing is, it's good for the time that it was made in. Definitely it was. So it was released in 1981, so they probably started filming 1980, maybe 1979, right? And definitely good for the time it was made in, right? If you watch it now, it's definitely dated. Like, when I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is definitely a very dated film. And Sam Raimi does a really good job of moving the camera around in this movie, you know? And it's wacky, it's weird, it's very creepy at times as well. And the score is good. I actually like the score in here. And Bruce Campbell is so fun as Ash. He's so charismatic and just very energetic and chaotic as his character, and it's very ominous and mysterious, and the atmosphere and the vibe is very creepy and ominous as well. And, you know, it's one of those things, though, where I just couldn't get connected to the overall story again. I really couldn't, sadly. And the characters aren't very memorable, maybe besides, you know, Bruce Campbell as Ash, and the pacing really isn't tight. And the thing is, with Sam Raimi, with this film, it kind of felt like a demo reel for what was going to come next in his filmography, which isn't necessarily a good or bad thing, but that just kind of stuck out. That stuck out to me when I was watching it. And coming in at number 6 is Evil Dead 2. Now, with Evil Dead 2, I don't think it's perfect. It's not a perfect film by any means, and I will say I am shocked with how much I did enjoy it, though. I am shocked. I don't know if I'd ever watch it again. but I surprisingly had some fun with it. I did, it's definitely the better film. It's definitely better than his predecessor, the original Evil Dead from 1981, and it's somehow more wacky than the original. It's somehow more weird and more zany as well, and the tone works, especially with how goofy it is. Like, there's a scene where all like the lamps and all these things in the house or the cabin come to life, and Bruce Campbell is just dancing with them. Y'all know what scene I'm talking about. I actually was like, that's actually kind of goofy. Like, for the tone that they're going for with this in this film, it worked. It really worked. It didn't feel too over the top. It didn't take me out of the movie either. And, the goofiness never fell over the top. And I was invested for the most part. Bruce Campbell's awesome in here, as always, and the score's good. I think the score is really good in here. It's directed well. It is. And I think the pacing is a lot better. It is definitely a lot better. The story's better in here. And there's a lot of fun to be had. And somehow it's more creepy and ominous than the OG. But I will say, it's definitely a film that does feel dated, but you have fun with it anyways. You do. And, it's not perfect by any means, and some of the acting is bad. Some of the acting's not very good, and there's not a lot of build-up. There's not a lot of build-up in this one. They throw you right into it, and it's really a part two in a way, and some of the other characters are forgettable, but overall, I had fun with it, more than I thought I would. And coming in at number 5 is Sin Help, and when it comes to Sin Help, I actually posted my review last week, so somewhere up here, if you haven't seen that video yet, please go like, comment, share that video. I would appreciate that a lot. And when it comes to Sin Help, I didn't have any big expectations for it. I walked in not having any expectations, and I walked out having fun. I walked out liking it more than I thought I would, but at the same time, I didn't like it as much as everyone else. I didn't love it like everyone else is. Like, everyone's loving it. I didn't love it as much as everyone else, but I still had a good time. I don't think I'd watch it again. It's probably just a one-time watch for me. And, I think Sam Raimi goes full crazy and psycho in here. He does. And, I still had a good enough time with it. It's a very small-scale survivor thriller that really keeps you on the edge of your seat and on your toes, and it's arguably probably the funniest Sam Raimi, the funniest film Sam Raimi's ever, made or done, and, it's been a while since I've seen a movie in a theater, been to a theater where everyone was cackling this much and loud, and it's funny. It's legit funny at times, and, I think the OG Sam Raimi fans will definitely fiend at, like, the Evil Dead vibes in here, and it really is a mix of Misery and Castaway, and maybe a little bit of Drag Me to Hell. There's maybe a little bit of Drag Me to Hell, like, references and vibes in here, and, I think Dylan O'Brien and Rachel McAdams both are flawless in here. They're so good in here. Dylan O'Brien's such a jerk. He plays a great jerk. Rachel McAdams plays Linda Little. She plays such a good, awkward and weird and very mysterious character, But at the same time, I do have a few nitpicks. I really couldn't get connected to the overall story as much as I wanted to. And while there are some really good horror bits in here, like this is technically a horror film, it is a horror movie, I wish there was more horror. I thought I was going to get scared in this one, but I just didn't really feel like there was much horror. I wish there was more. But even though Rachel McAdams is great, even though Dylan O'Brien is great, it did feel like something was missing as well, and I still can't put my finger on what it was. And coming in at number 4 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I hyped this movie up for months, and I was so excited for it. All the cameos and the multiverse aspect of it, and the trailers got me so hyped. And, I like Doctor Strange as a character. I like Benedict Cumberbatch as an actor, and I think he fits the role well. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of the first one, I do like the first one. And with this one, I do like it. I do like it, but not as much as I wanted to, at that time, like 2016. And with this one, I do think Multiverse of Madness is the better film. It's definitely better than his predecessor, but I was disappointed with it. Like a lot of people, I know I'm not the only one, but I just didn't love it as much as I wanted to. It's definitely a rewatchable film. I watch it here and there, but it has to do with the cameos. It has to do with the cameos and the story. I just feel like it felt very, for a multiverse film, it felt very small scale, and it didn't feel very, like, the scale didn't feel big. It didn't. And I really, there were rumors about Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool being in here, Wesley Snipes' Blade, Ben Affleck's Daredevil, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, all of these, like the OG X-Men, the OG Fantastic Four, Eric Bana's Hulk, like Ed Norton's Hulk. Everybody was rumored to be in here. And I just feel like that kind of took me out of the film. But the story as well just wasn't as strong as it should have been. And the dialogue, the script was bad. it was really bad, but you definitely see the Sam Raimi influences in here, and I love that it's very creepy and ominous as well. And coming in at number 3 is the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. I think this is the best trilogy ever made, in my opinion. All 3 of these movies I gave a 5 out of 5. I grew up with these movies, and I just love them so much. I do. And with the original Spider-Man, this movie is close to perfect. All 3 of them are. This whole trilogy is close to perfect. And I think Willem Dafoe is so menacing and creepy as the Goblin. And without this movie, we probably wouldn't have Marvel Studios and the Avengers, you know what I mean? And Tobey Maguire is so good in the role. He plays such a good Peter Parker, very nerdy Peter Parker, very comic accurate. His quips are amazing too. And he just knocks it out of the park in the role. And I love the vibe and the scope and scale of this universe that Sam Raimi gets you into. He injects substance into it, and it's just so much fun. And coming in at number 2 is Spider-Man 2. I love this movie so much. I think Alfred Molina is so good as Doc Ock. He's very charismatic, and he's just so fun to watch on screen. And Tobey Maguire is great as Peter and Spider-Man in here. I really like Kirsten Dunst as MJ. I like James Franco. James Franco is great as Harry Osborn, and I like the vibe in here again. Again, I like the scope and scale, and the score. Danny Elfman's score is so just heart pulsing. You get excited when you listen to it, and it just makes you want to go on a walk or on a run. And it's just, this one, you have different themes in each movie, and the theme in here is so relevant and it's so prevalent, and I absolutely love it. And coming in at number 1, my favorite film in Sam Raimi's filmography, my favorite film from Sam Raimi in general, is Spider-Man 3. I love Spider-Man 3. I know this one's kind of mixed. I know majority of people like it. Majority of people are okay with it. Some people hate it. Some people love it like I do. And I think this is the best of the trilogy. I think it's the darkest of the trilogy, but I think it's one that really makes you think, and the emotional beats hit, you know, because before No Way Home, before the rumors, we didn't think we'd ever see Tobey again, you know, because Spider-Man 4 was canceled, you know, and I love it so much, and the emotional beats hit. Kirsten Dunst's relationship with Tobey Maguire, Peter and MJ is great, and it's just, I love Danny Elfman's score, and I even think Thomas Hayden Church's Sandman is one of the greatest villains put on screen. Not the best villain, but one of the best, and it's just, I like Topher Grace's Venom too, I do, and it's just so fun to watch, and I love the vibe in this movie. So that'll wrap up this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, sharing this video. We just hit 1K so a while back. We're now 1.2K, and the next big milestone is 2K and 3K after that, beyond that as well. If you're new as well, I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, trailer reactions, movie live streams, movie news, movie rankings, all that wonderful movie stuff under the video umbrella. And let's talk about in the comments down below. What is y'all's favorite Sam Raimi film? What's y'all's least favorite Sam Raimi film? Is it Spider-Man 3? Is it Awesome, Great, and Powerful? Let's talk about it down below. Keep talking movies, wonderful people. Cheers.